Hello everyone, Skits here and welcome to today's video. One of the most frequently asked questions I get is what type of graphical mods I use. So in today's video I decided to show you all of them and also add a few more that you might like. Now I already made a similar video to this one back in 2015, but since then a year has already passed, some new mods came out and my graphical setup has also changed. Since I already reviewed most of these mods, I won't be talking too much about them and I will be mainly naming them. If you're just starting to mod your Fallout, you can basically use this video as your modding guideline for visuals. Another thing I need to mention is that I decided to divide all the mods into different categories, and if you are only interested in a certain one, you can take a look at it by clicking on one of the timestamps that can be found down in the description. And now without any further delays, let's get to it. Starting off, we've got ENB category, one of the most important parts when it comes to visuals. I personally use Rudy ENB that I think manages to enhance Fallout New Vegas atmosphere while still staying true to original. If you don't like this one, you can also try out the DYNAMO ENB, that is one of the most endorsed ones on Nexus, or Eremotherium and Blackout ENBs that also offer different type of visuals. Second category I've got are animations. For first person animations I personally prefer Hitman's first person animation Overhaul that aims to make first person weapon animations more realistic and modern. But if you don't like those, you can also check out Weapon Animation Replacer. When it comes to human bodies, I would recommend Ragdolls, and if you want to make characters dance or make them do some poses to create some funny videos or screenshots, you should take a look at Groovatron. Now let's take a look at characters overhaul. One of the most important parts here is the body type you're going to use. Now most of the armor mods need either type 3 body modification for females or Breeze's model for males. When it comes to females, however, I would recommend type 6 body that I personally use. When it comes to characters' faces, you simply have to use Fallout character overhaul that vastly improves both characters' textures and models. Closely tied up to that, we also have New Vegas Redesigned 3 that mainly tries to make characters look like their description says. So for example, Boxcars and Neptune should have broken knees, and so with New Vegas Redesigned he has them broken. Now one thing I have to warn you about though is that New Vegas Redesigned doesn't work very well with Rudy ENB I use, and that is why I personally don't use it, but I would still recommend it. It is really a great, immersive, realistic and improving mod. If you want to improve your female characters, then you should use Mojave Delight, and also its additional mod called Mojave Delight Coolhair that adds some new additional colors for hairstyles that I also personally use. Now that we've got character overhaul out of the way, let's take a look at some of the armors. Now since today I don't want to show you any mods that add new additional content, I'm only going to take a look at armors that retexture some of the vanilla stuff. First mod I got is NCR Trooper Overhaul, that just like its name says retextures NCR Trooper armors. Personally I think that now they look really amazing and I really can't imagine playing my game without this mod. Now when it comes to Caesar's Legion, I would recommend Caesar's New Regime, Legion Overhaul by Body, the same author who also created NCR Trooper Overhaul. So now that we've got two main factions out of the way, let's take a look at player character. Here, if you are using type 6 body, I would recommend T6M Replacer that replaces all of the armor mods and also some of the clothes to fit on type 6 body. Now I have to admit that all of these armors are a bit more revealing, but if you don't mind that, you can use them. If you're using type 3 body modification, then you should check out type 3M clothing. And if you are not using any type of body at all, I would recommend Wasteland Clothing HiRez Retexture by Macintroll, one of the best clothing / armor mods I ever saw. It basically retextures every clothing mod you can find in New Vegas, and also some of the armors are included as well. This mod is especially good for male characters, because I don't think there are any male armor replacers out there, and I think that this one is the only one you will actually need. Since we're already talking about armors, let's take a look at weapons as well. Here I can only recommend one project, and that is Weapon Retexture Project by Millennia that aims to retexture all of the vanilla weapons that can be found in New Vegas. As you can see, all of these new textures look very good, they are a lot better than the vanilla ones. And I would also urge you to check out some of the other Millennia's work. Now that we've got armors and weapons out of the way, let's take a look at interface, also one of the most frequently asked questions I get. The HUD I use comes from Project Brazil, one of the best and biggest quest expansions for Fallout New Vegas. And to be honest, I'm not sure if this HUD can be also found separately. If not, then you can find it in Project Brazil, and you should also check out the quest portion of this mod, it is really good. For HUD I also use User Interface Organizer that allows me to organize and basically manage all the HUD mods I use. And another HUD mod you can see in my game is One HUD by Gopher, and this mod allows you to manage every single part of your HUD. You can decide if you want your HUD to stay hidden all the time, if you only want it to be shown during combat, or if you only want to show certain parts of it, and there are tons and tons of customization options you can use. Currently in my game I'm also using HUD like Fallout 4 that tries to make HUD look like the one you can find in Fallout 4. That is for my next video, so you don't have to be bothered by that. Anyway, since we've got interface out of the way, let's take a look at environment. Here we have 3 similar weather/atmosphere mods: Nevada skies, Fallout, and realistic wasteland lighting. Now you have to decide which one of these 3 mods you're going to use since they clash with each other. I personally use Fallout since Nevada Skies is not compatible with Rudy ENB, and Realistic Wasteland Lighting is mainly for low tier PCs that can't afford any ENBs. Another mod I would recommend that I however do not use is Wasteland Flora Overhaul that adds bunch of green to your Mojave. Now I personally don't use it because I want my Mojave to stay as a desert, but feel free to check it out. And the last environment mod I have for you is called Wet, which is a relatively new mod that adds a small effect of dripping water during the rain that I personally couldn't even properly test out since I wasn't able to produce any rain in my game, but I still think it looks amazing based on screenshots, and you should definitely check it out. Next category is combat visuals. Here I'm mainly using enhanced blood textures that add tons and tons of blood to your New Vegas, and again one of the most essential mods for me, and I can't imagine my game without it. Now there is also a blood effect on screen that may be annoying for some of the people. Another mod I also use is EV, another very famous mod that I think you most likely heard of. And the last mod I could recommend for you is Better Headbits that adds some additional headbits to the head. So now we're going to be popping headshots even more. And the last and basically the most important category I have for you are the general visuals. Now here I am using NMC's texture pack along with Evi's big texture pack. Unfortunately, Evi's texture pack is no longer available on Nexus, but I think it is available somewhere on the internet. I personally never had to find it, but I'm sure you can do that by just using Google. But if you cannot find Evi's texture pack, I would also recommend Ojo Bueno, that is on the same level as NMC's texture pack. In addition to that, I'm also using improved textures by Tau34Rus that improves textures on cyberdogs, deathclaws, super mutants, and some other creatures. As you can see, NMC's, Evi's and all the other texture packs basically texture every single part of New Vegas, and I think you should start off with these mods if you want to know if your computer can handle modded Fallout New Vegas. For lighting, I would personally recommend Electricity and Interior Lighting Overhaul, they both look amazing. And when it comes to some miscellaneous mods, I personally use Pip-Boy Radius for my Pip-Boy. I would also recommend collision meshes to get rid of some of the annoying invisible walls you can find in New Vegas. And also HQ Dust Storms that adds new textures for dust storms into your Fallout New Vegas. And yeah guys, I guess that's about it. So if you follow my instructions and install most of these mods, I'm sure that your Fallout New Vegas can look at least as good as mine, possibly even better. And if you guys have any additional suggestions for any graphic mods I missed, make sure you leave them in the comments. I'm going to add them into the description later. And also to let you know, there is one more Fallout New Vegas video coming, and then I'm going to move on to Fallout 4 for a while. And yeah guys, I guess that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Subscribe for more Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 content, and I'll see you next time.